Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we'll be looking about inheritance in Java. So basically, inheritance means that if there is a base class and a derived class, if the derived class is being inherited from the base class, it could have all the attributes and properties that are present in the base class. So there are various types of inheritance.
Single inheritance. Deriving a class from a single base class is called single inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. If there is a sequence of grandparent inherited by parent inherited by child, it is multi-level inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. If a single class is being inherited by multiple subclasses, then it is hierarchical inheritance. Multiple inheritance. If a subclass is derived from more than one base class, then it is multiple inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. If there is a combination of more than one type of inheritance, then it is hybrid inheritance.
Now let's see how to implement them in the Java. So I'm going to have a class called car. Okay, now I'm not going to have anything, just a function. So void uh, display. So I'm just going to say a car is manufactured. Okay, simple. Now to perform inheritance, you need to use the extends keyword. See, I'm going to create a class ev. I'm just going to say extends. What it's being inherited from what class? The car. So car. Okay, now I'm going to have another method called ev. I'm just say it is an electric vehicle. Okay, now let's create an object for it. So ev object caps object is equal to new ev. So this is how we create objects, right? If I try to print object dot ev, it works. It would be quite simple because it is present in this class itself. We have done it many times. What if I say ev dot display? Now also it works because even though the display is being present only in the car, it is being extended by the ev. So all the attributes present over here would be copied down to here. So it's not copied down, it's being present here as well. So you could access it via the ev class as well. So one thing is only the public and protected members can be inherited. If I say this is private, now it's an error because I cannot access. Private members are going to present only within this class. You cannot access it outside of it. If it is protected, you could inherit over here, but you cannot access it outside this class. And if it is public, there is no problem. You could just uh, simply do that. Okay, this is simply a single inheritance. There is one class and it is X, and another class is being derived from that. There are various types, just now we have seen it. What if we have multi-level inheritance? Let's create another class called Tesla. It's going to extend my EV. Okay, so now here I'm going to have a method called void show. Now if I say it is Tesla. Let me create an object for the Tesla class as well. Tesla, new Tesla. So I'm just going to say Tesla dot show. Now let's print it. It is Tesla. What can I say? Tesla dot display. Car is being manufactured. What if I say EV? Everything is present. Even if I give display as well, it's working, right? Because this is being inherited to here in public visibility mode. And here it is also going to take all the attributes that are present in the public visibility mode. So that display will also be present in public. So it would be also copied over here. Say I keep it as protected. Now what happens if you work? Still now it works. So one thing you need to be clear is if it is in private visibility mode, you cannot access it. Other than that, you could access it in the derived class as well. But there is one really cool thing about the creating objects. Let's see. Oh, let's remove all these stuffs. I say, so I'm going to create, and there is multi-level and multiple. Multiple is not possible in Java, so I will explain why. Before that, I need to show if I create an object for the class EV. So EV object is equal to new EV. This is how we create object, right? Actually, what if I do EV object this and say object dot display? It shows an error. What variable object might not have been initialized? What is that? You need to be very clear about the object creation. So we are doing this right, doing this for many times. Here the left part, this EV object, this is not going to create an object. This is just going to create a reference to the class. So actually no memory or anything would be allocated over here. There would be stack and this EV would be, this object would be there. It won't be pointing to anything. If you have array of elements, if you have array of objects, if you print, it will be showing null because it's not going to point anything. If it is primitives, it would be different. For integer, there would be some default value 0, 0.0 for floats like that. But now this is not going to create an object or not going to point anything. This would be just residing in the stack memory. Actually, this is the part that is going to create the object for your class. So this one creates the object. So this creates something in the heap memory. After this creation, this occurs dynamically during the runtime. So after creating this object would be pointing over there. So this is what happening. So mostly many people say when you are doing this inheritance and stuff, and when we go into data structures and algorithm, we'll be using the base class name over here. Here what it is car. Core object is equal to new EV. Now it completely works. We have created a reference for the base class, but we have created an object for the derived class. This also completely works. What if I say object dot display manufactured object dot EV? Why it is not working? Because EV is actually here. We have created an object for this type only. No, because since the reference is being pointed to this car, let me remove this protected as well. Since this reference is being pointed only to this car class, it will be having only the functions present over there. So if I change it to EV, now it works. So hopefully it's clear. One thing you need to know is why is multiple inheritance not supported in Java? So let's remove this. I don't want this anymore. Okay. See, what is multiple inheritance? There would be two different base classes and it must be inherited by a single derived class. So actually the syntax should be something like extend EV comma car. Oh, car. So right now it's showing an error because this is not possible. See, class cannot extend multiple classes. Even if you see this in C++, multiple inheritance is possible. Why it is not possible? Say, I'm having a display function over here, right? So let's remove this. I'm having a display function over here. What if this name is also display? What would happen if I create an object for this Tesla object is equal to new Tesla and try to say object dot display? There comes an ambiguity. Which one we need to call? This one or this one? There is an ambiguity, right? So let's print this. Error. We cannot do this multiple inheritance because there is an ambiguity. This display or which one to call? Should I call this or should I call this? There is an error. You might be thinking, okay, first EV is being extended, so this display only should be called, right? No, That's not how the Java compiler works. You could say this in C++. You will be having multiple inheritance over there, but not here. Oh, then can we not do this multiple inheritance stuff in Java? We could do that. For that, we are having interface in Java. So the next lecture will be on interfaces. That's all about this inheritance. You will do this whenever you need to inherit certain properties from a base class. Hopefully it's clear. Thank you for watching.